Hello and good morning, everybody, or according to Isabel, good evening. It is very late or early in the morning as of the timing of this video. I'm recording this at 2:56 a.m. and this one, unfortunately, was a bit of an awkward introduction to the 2.0 update for New Horizons. See, I had fully recorded this video with commentary and everything, but unfortunately, for some reason, the audio for the whole video was corrupted, and so I'm forced to record commentary and post, which is totally fine. I wanted to make sure that I was able to still post a video for the update since it's absolutely crazy. So without further ado, let's get into it. If you haven't seen it already, everybody, obviously, as you can tell, the update dropped almost an entire day early. It took everybody by surprise. Even though I knew that it was out, I had fully intended to make a video for the update the following morning, so this morning, but I could not sleep for the life of me to try and like rest up before videos, so I wanted to record at least something this morning before getting some rest. So after going through the morning announcements with Isabel, where she kind of explains everything with new ordinances and the fact that Captain's at the pier now, speaking of which, the first thing I do whenever I wake up is head to Captain. One of the things that people had mentioned was that I guess Captain was only once a day, which was also confirmed by Isabel during the morning announcements as well. And, you know, this kind of surprised me, honestly, but I'm not exactly sure why. And I guess I'll talk about that more in a little bit as well. Anyways, after talking to Captain, I headed to the museum to finally start working on getting the Roost on the island. The Roost and Brewster, obviously one of the biggest requested additions to Animal Crossing New Horizons, especially after the first couple of months of New Horizons release. So you walk in, and the first thing that you do is you notice that Blathers, for the first time in a long time, if at all, has a thought bubble above his head. You talk to Blathers, and Blathers informs you that he's trying to find a way to increase traffic into the museum and asks you if you've ever heard of Brewster, who helps run a cafe, who unfortunately shut down his shop an undisclosed period of time ago. So with that, Blathers gives you the photo to take with you so that you can head over to Cap'n, who will take you to a mysterious island, because apparently Blathers has some notion that Brewster may be on like a mysterious island, but he's not quite sure, so he has you go with Cap'n. I didn't intend to use Cap'n's one mysterious island visit today, but I guess this is probably the best way for them to transition into being able to do so. So headed back to Cap'n's, spent my 1,000 Nook miles, and then listened to one of the funniest things that this game has ever introduced, which is Cap'n singing. And when I went, Cap'n was singing about a frog who likes to sing about songs, but he can't hit high notes. And so Cap'n, who is a turtle and not a frog, sings it for the frog. And if you know the lyrics, and sing along too. I don't know. It was just funny. Once you get to the first mysterious island, Cap'n informs you that he basically works the same way as Orville and Wilbur do whenever they take you to mystery islands. You can ask him for tools. You can ask him to take you home. But more importantly, this is the island where you will see Brewster just kind of casually strolling about, almost as if we were doing another villager hunt. You talk to Brewster, and he informs you that he's looking for gyroids and asks you if you've seen any, at which point I went around the island and searched around a bit, found a gyroid fragment, went back to Brewster, but I guess that's not really that important. That, or I guess if you find the fragment, you unlock this part of the dialogue. But most of the options when I sought to talk to him again were pretty much the same as last time. You ask him if he remembers Blathers, and you let him know that Blathers is looking for him, at which point he gives you a very kind of cryptic message of just like, okay, I get it, I hear you. And that's like that's like all he says, and then he's like, all right, go tell that to Blathers, he'll know what it means. Other than that, there was really nothing else to do on this particular island, so I took Cap'n back home. Once again, heard another hilarious song. Tried to skip it once again to see if that was the thing, and certainly not. But one thing that I did realize, and I don't know if you guys have realized this, but when you are on the boat with Cap'n, if you press A, X, or Y while he's singing, you will actually react with a excited reaction, with a clapping reaction, and I think it's actually really awesome. I was basically clapping the entire way back once I figured out I can do that. So yeah, cool little trick for you guys if that was something you didn't know was the thing. After letting Blathers know about my trip with Cap'n to go see Brewster and what Brewster said, what very little he did say, Blathers informed me that the museum was going to have to be closed down for a day in order to introduce the cafe, which is something that we haven't, especially for those who've been playing the game for a long time, this is something that we haven't experienced in quite a while, having to shut down a building in order for it to be upgraded. Obviously, when you upgrade the tent to the museum, it gets upgraded. When you upgrade Nook's Cranny from the tent to the shop, it gets upgraded and closed down. And so I wasn't willing to time travel to get to the roost just quite yet. That's something I wanted to take care of later on today. So I basically just told Blathers, that's great, we'll just wait for the museum to reopen again, and went on my way. After that, going to resident services was pretty much the most logical step to take at that point, given that there were tons of new Nook phone features and apps and services to be downloaded. Things, of course, like the cooking DIYs, the Pro Designer app to be able to use accent walls. And as I was going through the items, one thing really stuck out to me that I thought was kind of interesting. So one thing that I've kind of thought about is whether or not we'll be able to take that storage shed with us and use it as basically like a big backpack. And what I noticed when I was looking through the items was that there is actually two versions of the shed. One is like a Nook Miles item that you can just buy. I think it's like 9,000 Nook Miles. And then the other one is a DIY recipe, which you can just make, which looks significantly smaller. It looks like it takes up a 1x1 tile, whereas the regular shed takes up a 2x1. So I'm not quite sure exactly what the difference is there. There was also a deposit box as well. And then the ABD like mobile bank service as well that you can get. So again, I'm not quite sure whether or not you can move these. Obviously, if you've been playing the update by the time you watch this video, you probably already know by now, especially if you've been time traveling. But as of now, I have no idea. I still don't even know what the deposit box does. I haven't even touched it since after recording this video. So just an interesting thing that I saw, and I'm very curious to explore. Beyond that, I basically spent all of my Nook Miles on like the reactions and the services and some of the items as well. I couldn't afford the big shed, but I don't know, maybe it wasn't that important to get now that I have the DIY. While I was here at Resident Services, I took the time to talk to Tom Nook so I can customize my house with some of the new features. One of the options that was shown during the trailer was this wonderful Japanese looking house. And so even though nothing of what that design does matches my island whatsoever, I knew that the moment I saw it in the trailer, I absolutely had to make my house look like that. I did check the other housing options that are available to us now just to kind of explore the update even further. And yeah, even those look really, really nice. So even though it feels like the housing choices are still fairly limited and you may not find a house design that may or may not correlate with your current theme, I would say that given the amount of options that are available to us now for housing, you can at least get something fairly close. I also tried to upgrade my storage to the 5,000 limit since I remembered that that was a thing, but since I'm customizing my house, I guess Tom Nook won't let me do that, so I will take care of that another time. I did order the Happy Home Paradise DLC as well, and even though I saw reports that people were saying it wasn't available at the moment, I decided to check the airport anyway, and yep, it's true, it's not available yet, so it'll probably be later on today when it's available, but I decided to take this time to also check out the camera functions, which is really, really cool. As a content creator, the different camera angles are always welcome, and I think those who take pictures for things like Instagram or even make content on platforms in general are going to find that the camera functions are incredibly useful. Obviously, I don't think this feature is going to be that useful for everybody, but I do believe this feature may be useful to everybody in some capacity. Oh, and also the fisheye lens filter is amazing. After that, I just headed to the pier to chill out with Captain, test out some of the new reactions, and that's basically where I called it before the end of the night because I really need to get some rest. So obviously there's still way more to this update that I still haven't explored. Not only do we still not have Happy Home Paradise like I mentioned earlier, but as you can tell, I haven't even fully introduced the roost on my island, which I'm definitely going to be taking care of later on today. And of course, we still have to go to Harv's Island to do all the stuff over there too. So there's a lot of stuff to unpack with this update, and I am just so excited for Animal Crossing 2.0. It's not even funny. Like I said before, though, I will be exploring all of that later on today. So in the meantime, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to drop a like on it. And if you are new to my channel and want to see more videos from me as I continue to explore the Animal Crossing New Horizons 2.0 update, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications as well. Always helps. And why not go ahead and leave a comment down below with your favorite feature of the 2.0 update thus far as well. In the meantime, everybody, thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you guys in future videos for the 2.0 update. Until next time, have a wonderful day. Be safe.